right, everybody, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And this is the same hat that Brock Purdy's dad wears. Chat loves it when Marty Lurie comes on.
Anytime you lose a game this time of year, when you can't go backwards, it's a problem.
Welcome on in, everybody. NorCal Sports Network. A thrashing, as predicted here the last couple of nights on NorCal Sports Network. We'll get into this game. Final score, what was it? 120?
130, 104.
Okay. 130, 104. All right. This show's brought to you by Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, in California. Give them a call for all your legal needs. You got a personal injury situation, you got a legal document you need. Look, guys, we all need an attorney now and then. And you probably should have one ready to go when you do need one. Give Chapman Law Group a call. Let them know NorCal Sports Network. Thank you. Numbers on the screen there. 415-613-9483. And Lou, let's say goodbye to the music. We'll have Frank Red joining us shortly. And, you know, as I watched this game, Lou, one thing was very clear tonight. The Kings were hell-bent on not letting Steph get open at all in the three-point line. And all that did is open up the rest of the court for the Warrior players. They had 35 assists tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players in double figures. Take it away, Lou. I got a call coming in from my wife in the Philippines. I'll be right back.
I guess that's the priority. I like it. No, yeah, I think I was going to bring that up tonight. The assists dominated. And what was nice about the Warriors is, yeah, they did shoot a lot of threes. But I think what's really helped with Butler here is they discovered there's more than just three-pointers. They had a lot of, screen and rolls, give and goes. I mean, they had a lot of layups.
Hey, love,
I think
right. I just started.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think the key thing with the Warriors is they adapted the game to go to the layups where the Kings sort of stuck shooting threes.
You can watch it on YouTube. I'll say hello to you.
I guess Dan forgot to mute us.
That was baseball.
Okay.
But it was, I think Kings' big problem too, especially was their defense. It just looked like the Warriors sort of could do whatever they wanted. Like I said, you had two teams basically doing the same.
Was I not muted? Was I not muted?
No,
my mic's not working then. I had my mic. Hey, hold on. I'm going to mute it now. Test this. Am I muted
problem.
now? Am I muted?
Problem.
Am I muted?
I can hear you. Nope. I can hear you.
Look at that. I got the button. Everything got screwed up today. I got it. Let me fix this. Wonder what's going on.
Talk to your producer. That's his job.
Jeez.
I think what I was going to say is tonight's thing is the Warriors adapted, doing give and goes, and the Kings never adjusted of just shooting threes. And, the game was, 130, 104. But after that first quarter, the Warriors actually came out like gangbusters to get an easy 12-point lead. That's when I started watching my Arizona-Kansas game. And then I came back, and the Warriors never relinquished. I thought it was a good game. I thought with Kuminga, it was a nice little thing. But again, we've talked about this numerous times. Buddy Hield hitting his threes, and Buddy Hield playing solid. And then, of course, GP2 again, 4 for 6, 3 for 4 from three-pointers. I mean, the last week he's been almost unstoppable. And I think I hate to say this, but the Warriors are playing better without pods because they're playing team ball. They're really looking for the screen and roll, and they're playing smart. Tonight, the other key thing is beside, all the assists, only 14 turnovers, which is phenomenal. And the Warriors are going to be in every game. You know, and I really think the Kings from 2 games ago, they just have not bounced back. They've almost sort of given up where the Warriors are striving forward. So
Yeah,
I think it's, you know, it's one of those things. It happens.
Is my mic working right now?
Yes, we can hear you, Dan.
I don't know what the heck's going on. The mute button.
And your wife wants to know why are you doing a show tonight this late when you did a show earlier? That's why we all know.
I know. You all heard it. Yeah. Baseball today. It's 12:30 Friday afternoon over there.
Yeah, no, I understand. It happens.
Yeah,
Dan, so I don't know if you heard me. What I was saying is I think the Warriors really adapted to the Kings defense where the Kings never really adapted to the Warriors defense. And I thought what was really nice about tonight is that this is probably the first time in a while I saw a lot of screen and rolls where literally the Warriors would do that screen and roll and they'd have a wide open layup. And you know what was nice? They would dunk the ball. A nice, easy dunk. So instead of putting the ball up like TJD would do and then taking 3 things, just dunk it down, get the ball, and get back on defense.
Yep. Jeff Taylor, member for 7 months, 8 Warriors in double figures tonight, only 17 points from Steph Butler combined in a 26-point win is impressive. Yes, Jimmy was not one of the 8 in double figures. He only had 6 points. And, you know, the court is like this. With the 3-point arc, it's all open in the middle. And that's why those guys were doing pass and cut. Just, you know, it was
screen and roll. And the Kings never adopted.
It's like a toss.
They did the same 3 times.
Yeah, it's like a toss to the running back. You just, he's on the move, and he just, you know, boom, he's out there. Hey, I just think if you double Steph, you're in trouble. I texted someone, Ryan, during the game. I says, you double Steph with this team, they're going to kill you because the whole team has changed their mentality with Jimmy Butler. This is a team now that is, again, ahead of the rest of the league. While the Celtics are shooting 53s, the Warriors have changed their game and are going to the hoop. And you're going to have a hard time stopping them. Let's bring in Frank Red, the great Frank Red. How you doing, Frank?
Fantastic. How you gentlemen doing?
Good. How you doing, Frank?
Heard me there in the green room what I was saying or not about this Warrior team now cutting to the hoop with Jimmy Butler. It's changed the entire – they're ahead of the rest of the league now because they can shoot threes with anybody, but now they're not settling for threes. They're working the ball around kind of like the Warriors used to do when they had, you know, Livingston and you know the whole team, the crew when they were playing in 15, 16, 17, 18 before they were shooting so many threes. They're getting back to that kind of basketball. And I never knew one person can make such a difference on a team, but Jimmy Butler has changed the entire direction of this club. I would want to play this club they're playing tenacious defense. They're being patient on offense. And now you get Kuminga back. I'm telling you, man, this team, Kuminga he looked good. I'm glad what did they play him tonight? About 20 minutes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, about 20
minutes. Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Just slowly give him 5-minute spurts, get his win. He looked good. He didn't hesitate. I was worried about the ankle, whether it would be, you know, a little bit soft. I mean, he must have had a very serious high ankle sprain. And the fact is, I think if the playoffs had started 2-3 weeks ago and they needed him, he probably was ready. They took their time wisely and said, let's not bring him back at 90%. Let's make sure he's 110%.
Also, the schedule aligned. I mean, think about it. The next 3 games, they have New York, they have Denver, and they have Milwaukee. I don't know if I don't know if it's quite in that order, and all those games are at home, right? I believe those games are at home.
Right.
So, you get a Boost playing at home, and then you get this Bugatti out of the garage in Kuminga. I mean, what was striking to me is just like we all thought watching Kuminga play. He's one of like maybe 5 players in the league with that level of athleticism. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I looked at his body tonight. He's put on about 8 to 10 pounds too in his shoulders. He's stronger. And remember all of the other times when Kuminga had to kind of not only physically reacclimate himself to the team, but mentally. He looked like a vet out there tonight. So he's going to get his money. I'm happy for him. Hopefully he stays healthy. Man, this team is the smartest team in the NBA. And they probably have the smartest coach in the NBA. And when Jimmy Butler came to the Warriors, the consensus was he was replacing Andrew Wiggins. The reality is he's like Draymond 2.0. He orchestrates their half-court offense, plays damn near as good a defense. He doesn't block shots like Draymond, but he's a championship caliber player. And I think the entire league is like, oh crap right now, because this is a good team. It really is.
Yeah, I was thinking of this team tonight as I was watching. I says, man, going to be very tough to beat on the home court in the playoffs. And if they can do what they've done, I don't know if it's 21 or 22, whatever the consecutive series that they've won a road game. If they can do that and win a road game or two in a series, I think, it's all going to depend on the matchups, but we're seeing the Lakers lose right now without LeBron, and they could fall back. It's possible. The Warriors are now only 3 games behind the Lakers. Let me pull up those standings and we'll take a look at that, because the Lakers have a tough schedule right now. And they are, let me see. Can you guys see that right there?
No.
Oh, they did. Okay. I didn't.
No.
I hit the wrong.
Hey, Dan, while you're doing that, can I just say something with Frank here? I think the key to the Warriors, especially probably the last 4 or 5 games, is, let's take Kuminga out. But my most important thing are the 3 guys coming off the bench, Santos, Hield, and Payton.
Yep.
Know they have a job. They're doing their job. And when they do that, the starters don't have to worry about coming in early. If you notice, the rotation has really specified with Butler coming in. You don't need to bring Stephen Curry. He's actually getting rest where, he's actually taking the normal time. But, I just got to give praise that, Payton has been phenomenal in his 18 minutes. He's always, he's 3 for 4 again tonight from threes. He's got a spark. Santos coming off the bench. He's like a bolt of energy. And then, like we say, Dan, when Buddy Hield shoots and he scores and usually know it right away, the Warriors are almost unbeatable. So when those 3 guys, and now you get Kuminga, so instead of 3, now it's 4. It's almost making the Warriors bench probably 75% solid of the starters. And when you have that, that's got championship written all over it.
You got an issue with, or Steve Kerr's going to have an issue when Pods comes back. These minutes, I mean, this is like, your starters are Green, Butler, tonight, Post, Curry, Moody. Then you're going to have on the bench, you're going to have guys coming off, Kuminga, Looney, Santos, Hield, Payton. That's 5, and Pod. That's 11 players again. I don't know whose minutes get cut short. I can tell you, I think Buddy Hield's get cut short in road games because he's terrible on the road. If he's not hitting his shots, just get Buddy out. If he hasn't hit his first 3, 4 shots from 3, just say, okay, off night, buddy. We got plenty of guys on the bench. And it looks to me like tonight, the one who may have not been out there as much as we've seen him recently, and that's Guy Santos. He did get 18 minutes, but he was also out there the last 3 minutes of garbage time. So he really looks like he might be a guy, and I love Guy Santos. He's a guy that just hustles and he gives you solid play. So it'll be fun. It's going to be fun, but I'm just glad Moses Moody is playing, close to 30 minutes a night. He got 30 tonight and he put in 17. I just think Moody's just blossoming under this whole new kind of system, what they've done. Let me show you the standings real quick here, guys. What do you think? I mean, look at that. 2 through 5 is one game separating 2 through 5. And the Timberwolves are coming. They're tough. And you look, this was a big win, by the way, for the Warriors tonight, because it pushed them, instead of being 2.5 ahead of the Kings, they're 4 or 2. Yeah, 2.5. They're 4.5 over the Kings. So that was huge. But can the Warriors catch Houston or LA? What do you guys think?
Dan, can you move it over a little bit so you can just see the last 10 games, just to show you how good the Warriors are playing? It's almost like everybody is playing really good above us. All right, there you go. Perfect. You see, like, you got the top 8-2, 5-2, 5-2, 7-3.
Well, you've gained 3
Perfect. Thank you.
games on Houston. Is that Houston? Yeah, you've gained 3 games on Houston, and you've gained 2 games on the Lakers. And you've gained 4 on Denver. Wow.
Well, let's be honest. We'll know a lot more about the Warriors prospects after this weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
after Tuesday.
After Tuesday. After these 3 games, then we'll have a real clear picture of what to expect from the Warriors. And with that said, it's a game-to-game proposition. I love what the Warriors are, because every game is a playoff game. It really is. And even tonight, you expected Sac in the second half. At least in the second quarter they came back. But they continued to play relatively hard. They just were not playing the same level of mental basketball that the Warriors were. But the Warriors came out from the start motivated physically and mentally, and they overwhelmed the Kings. And, man, this team can beat anybody. I mean, every team knows. Like, you hear these commentators, and they're talking about, like Barkley in particular, OKC. Listen, every team in the playoffs is going to do one thing from the start. They're going to double SG. They're going to double him. Once he gets to the foul line extended, the left or right elbow, they're going to run 2 guys at him, and it's going to be the onus is going to be on his teammates to make plays. You watched them last year in the playoffs, they didn't do that. So, they got to figure it out. These group post-game celebrations, they got to do more than that. Even Boston couldn't make a shot. If Boston made any of those threes yesterday, Boston wins that game. So it wasn't like this tremendous defense. Boston just missed a lot of shots.
Right.
But you got to give Oklahoma a little credit. They did sweep Boston, home and away.
No. They are a talented team.
Yeah.
They are the most talented team. But generally speaking, historically, when you look at the NBA playoffs, it takes you 2 or 3, maybe even 4 years, again, to make those adjustments. They got to make adjustments on the fly. How many people
Example like the Pistons. They needed to get there, learn how to do it. No, that's a great point, Frank. Great point.
Yeah.
This comment by Los, it makes me think he's eager to see Kuminga learn from Butler how to sell more fouls, how to defend, how to see the floor. With Kuminga set to make a killing at the bank here in the offseason, I think if the Warriors are smart, they take a long-term plan, and you're going to have to sign Kuminga to at least $35 million a year in the offseason. But he's likely to get more, because what happened is that the Warriors not signing him this before the season started.
Yep.
He's free to sign with anybody, and then the Warriors have the opportunity to match. So it could be $40 million a year. And I think Lacob is going to have to match it, because he's got to look at, okay, when Jimmy's gone after 2 years and Steph's gone, I got to have Kuminga being the Jimmy Butler of this team, a guy that can learn from Jimmy for the next years, and then actually at 25 years old, 26, whatever he's going to be in 3 years, he is Jimmy Butler and can actually take a team to the finals because of his dominance. I think that's what the Warriors' future should be. There is a possibility, I will say this, that if Kuminga signs a $40 million deal and the Warriors somehow falter in the playoffs, I could see a world where Kuminga does a sign and trade with Phoenix and the Warriors package him with another player or two or so for KD. And then you have KD, Steph, Jimmy, and Draymond. You know, it would be.
That's a brilliant point. But that's brilliant. That is a brilliant synopsis of what could happen. However, if it works out well for Phoenix, the Warrior fans will they'll kill Joe Lacob. So, I mean, the most favorable destination is really Washington. It's a long way. You see him 2 years, twice a year, particularly if Washington has a top 5 pick. And if the Warriors identify somebody in the draft within the top 5 that they really like, they can not only get that player, but they can get an auxiliary piece back. And they financially put themselves in a favorable position in the present and long term. Because think about it. Stephen Curry's, I guess he's under contract, but they get raises. The Warriors want to be fiscally responsible in ways that they haven't been over the past decade.
Yeah. Yeah, Steph's going to be over $60 million, I believe, next year.
62. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, he signed an extension. I just think that I hope it would be nice to keep Kuminga. It's going to be costly, though, to have – it would be costly to trade him and have KD, too, of course. You're going to have – you got Jimmy over making 55. You got Steph Jimmy's making –
50.
Yeah, 55. Yeah. 111, right? Extension,
yes.
111 million. Yeah, so 50, 55-ish. And Steph's making over 60. And then Draymond's making 25. Yeah.
And the KD's going to make, 50?
Yeah.
And
that's why I say that they can't get KD and keep Kuminga.
No, they can't.
They could trade Jimmy, but I would hate to see him trade Jimmy after how I'm seeing this team play. Because I think if you have KD on this team, I don't think you're going to the hoop like they are with Jimmy.
They ain't trading Jimmy.
I don't think so. I hope not, man. The guy plays unbelievable defense. Hey, and you got him for 2 years. You got happy Jimmy right now. And if he, in his last year of his contract, if he resorts to, I want out of here, Jimmy, then fine. You deal with it then. But right now you got Jimmy for the rest of this year and you got a really solid year for next year. And he seems to be thrilled. Who doesn't want to play with maybe the greatest teammate? I'll say this. There's an argument for Steph being, in the GOAT conversation. We know he's not Michael Jordan. He's not, he's not the greatest of all time, but there's an argument to put him in the top 5, right? People can, but I will argue right here that he's probably the greatest teammate to play with in the history of the NBA. And I'm not just talking about talent. I'm talking about the person, because people come here and love to play with Steph because it's infectious, his attitude. And I saw a special on Buddy Hield the other night on NBC Sports Bay Area. Said he wanted to come play with Steph. He just loved – everybody wants to play with Steph. Everybody. Yeah. LeBron wanted to play with Steph in the Olympics so bad.
Right. Dr. J was pretty cool. Dr. J was awesome. But not only Stephen Curry, right? He's awesome. But the Warriors organization is top shelf. Every player that comes through here is like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So, it's the whole, what did they say? Kid caboodle? What's the analogy?
Kid and caboodle, yeah.
It's an incredible experience. And plus you're in Northern California. For those of us who enjoy this, you're around smart people. You have an opportunity. If you're really a star, these tech folks and these business opportunities come your way. And if you're smart enough, You can take advantage of them in ways that you can't do in some other markets. Yeah, man. And then like you said, the ice on the top is you play with Stephen Curry.
It's a destination now again.
No
with
question
Steph
about
here.
it.
Yeah, I think really, to tell you the truth, Frank, the last 10 games have been sort of lucky where we haven't really gone against a dominant center.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm excited for the next 3 games, because really, New York has a big guy. Denver has the Joker. And then, we'll see how they deal with Milwaukee well, they don't really have a center, but they have a slasher, in the Greek Freak, where, I think we've been sort of lucky where we haven't had to go against that. And it'll be interesting to see how the Warriors defense plays against that. So I'm pretty excited about that for the next few games.
Yeah, I agree with you.
As I look at the West, I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. It's loaded, but I think the team that probably scare me the most is Denver and Minnesota. Minnesota seems like a team that could give the Warriors fits because they've got the center. They've got Rudy, and then they've got Anthony Edwards, and DiVincenzo's playing well, and they got Naz Reid, who's starting to play well, and they're starting to gel this team. In fact, if I looked at Minnesota's last 10, they are 7-3, but they've won 6 in a row, like the Warriors.
Let me ask you a question.
They're healthy.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
When you think of all the guards in the NBA, nobody stops Anthony Edwards, but who plays him the toughest of any guard in the league?
Probably Jimmy Butler.
GP2.
Oh, yeah. Okay. GP2, yeah.
And the reason why the Warriors have beat Minnesota more times than they've lost them this year is strategically Steve Kerr has always been able to go to his ace. And his ace is, particularly in the third and the fourth quarter, because he'll play a lot of guys on him. But when he wants to really not stop him, but bother him into tougher shots, because the game's going to be close, because Minnesota's good. But they got to prove to me that they can get somebody else besides Anthony Edwards to kind of carry the ship. Maybe that's Julius Randle. I don't know. But on the perimeter, I've been particularly watching how GP2 gets into Anthony Edwards like nobody else in the league does. Particularly for like 5 to 8 minute intervals. And he's had a lot of success against him this year.
Yeah. Who do you think's also I wanted to ask you about this because I was thinking about a month ago, we were excited, maybe 6 weeks. I don't know how long it's been. We were excited about Quinton Post on his offense, but we were saying, gosh, he's just getting pushed around defensively. But somebody's been working with him because he's starting to put his his right foot back and get lower. And he's using leverage to keep these big guys from pushing him underneath the basket. He's starting to use a little bit more of his lower body to that strength to where you get that. Because he was standing straight up before, and he was just getting pushed back like he wasn't even there. Now and now also on defense, I'm seeing him go straight up when he's disrupting more shots. And I saw him make one mistake tonight, and he slapped down at the ball trying to get Valanciunas, I think, had it. And Draymond just kind of kept riding him, like telling him, not to. And I was looking at Draymond and I was looking at Post. Draymond looked like a midget next to him. Post is a big dude. He doesn't look that big when you're just watching on TV, but when you see him stand next to what is Draymond, about 6'6", right?
6'7".
Yeah, he's right in there. And Post is a legitimate. Is Post 7'1" or just 7 feet? He's a big dude.
He's about 7'1", and
Dang.
I saw him this summer when they had the Warrior. Well, I don't know if I think he played. I saw him there or whatever. But he's a legit 7-footer, and I don't want to say anything negative about him because he's played so well. But I want to make one comment, and I kind of want the listeners to zone in on this. He's too old to be so emotional on the court. Because he's not like a 19-year-old freshman. He's about 21, maybe 22 or something like that.
Post?
Yeah.
I think he's 23.
Yeah. So he's even older than that. And I don't
maybe even 24.
Yeah. And I don't like the way that he emotionally gets tied up with plays. Like you'll see expressions, not the good expressions, but when he's dealing with adversity, he shows that and he kind of wears that. And officials hate that. And I don't like it either because he's too good to do that. I mean, like Looney is expressionless. I love Looney's demeanor on the court. So learning from Draymond and Jimmy Butler, you can also learn that special nuance from Looney, because what it does is it gets you already conditioned to deal with the next play as opposed to living with bad plays. And, we can accept him not being as strong. And you're right, his technique is getting better. He has a long way to go, which is why he didn't play a whole lot in the second half, because the physicality of the game was kind of getting to him a little bit. But this is a guy who can make three-point shots. That is a rarity, and that is a weapon.
Yeah,
so
it is a weapon.
Learn.
You mentioned emotions and guys that are calm and demeanor. I think he can learn from Draymond and Pods too. And no, I'm just kidding. Moody is a guy that is, Moody doesn't make any noise.
No,
he got called on a foul tonight, and I saw the replay and I go, he didn't even touch him.
Yeah.
And Moody doesn't even say a word.
What a reclamation project.
Yeah, I think the key with Moody is he knows his role as a starter. I think he was sort of lost on the bench where, am I going to play tonight? Am I not? But mentally, he's so focused because, Frank, as you know, when you start a game, it's a lot different than you coming on the bench. You know your responsibility. It's completely different. And if we're going to, talk about Steve Kerr, putting him in the starting lineup with Butler has really brought his game up to the, another level. He deserves to stay there. So
go back and check a video out that I did the first month of the season when the Warriors lost DeAnthony Melton. They said, who should be in the starting lineup? We did a video. Is it who takes his place? I said, I think it should be Moody because I just like Moody's game, and he needs that playing time because what was happening is he was getting at the end of the bench a lot of times, and he was getting some DNPs, and then he'd come in, and like any young player, he's going to say, I got to do more than I think I got to impress. I got maybe 5 minutes to prove myself, and he would try and do too much. But Moody's he's a dog. That dude gets in there. He is probably as fearless as anyone on the team going to the hoop. And he just doesn't care. He will take on a big man and go right at him.
I was thinking about this today. You know what? Partly it's the Warriors and Steve Kerr's fault. But at some point, we're going to have to reevaluate that draft. Because when you look at the ascension, as arduous as it's been for Kuminga fans to see him kind of in and out of the doghouse and his slow progress, right now, he's one of the most attractive guys in the league at his age. I mean, regardless of how he got there, I mean, he's a guy right now. And here is my little analysis game that I play. If you put him back in the draft, where would he be? I do it every year. If you put Kuminga in this year's draft, he'd go in the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
He would go in the top 5. If you put Moody in this year's draft, he'll be in the top 10.
Right.
So the Warriors have had a lot of luck, and they've kind of got these guys into shape to the point where they're really good NBA players right now.
Right. I want to take a look at what year was that draft? Was that the 21 draft? I think it was. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look at this 21 draft. You brought up something kind of interesting. Let's see how we would redraft this, because that was a hell of a draft. And here it is, guys. Okay. Cade Cunningham, 1. I don't think I changed that. Oops. I don't know what happened to this here. Why is this on here? I don't get that off of there. All right. I don't know how to. All right. Jalen Green, 2. I don't know. Do you leave him there, or do you put Mobley 2?
No, I would. Mobley would be number 2 at this point.
Yeah. 3, Green,
I
or
don't have.
Kuminga?
I don't have a problem with Green there. I don't.
All right. You got at 4, you're going to go. I like Kuminga over Barnes.
Yeah. I mean,
But do you like Franz Wagner better than Kuminga?
I don't personally. I don't. And the reason why I don't is because on a championship caliber team, Wagner is only going to be, I believe, your third best player. He's going to be a really good third best player. And he's probably going to be an all-star, maybe 2, 3, 4-time all-star. Kuminga, but he doesn't sell any tickets at all. He's just a good player. Kuminga is a star. Kids' eyes light up when they see Kuminga. And, I mean, here's a telltale. And we don't see this with Kuminga yet. But how many jerseys do you sell outside of your market? That's a big indicator. Kuminga has star potential. And, you want to get it done on the court, but you also want to have a star. And Kuminga's one of those few players in the league that you can actually build around because he's a star.
Right. Now, I'm moving Wagner. Okay, so Kuminga, let's say we put him 4. I'm moving Wagner to 5. Now, get this stupid thing off my. I don't know why this thing. I can't move. Oh, I guess. What the heck is that?
Which website is that?
It's just NBA.com.
Okay.
I don't know. All right, here we go. All right. I don't want to do the whole draft, but I think Moody, I'd move up to Sengun. I would move up into the top 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Alfred and Sengun. I might move Sengun behind. Let's see, 4, 5. I'm moving Suggs down. Maybe Barnes around 7 or 8.
Yep.
But I've got Sengun going higher.
He's the top 7 pick. He was drafted 17th overall, I believe, if I remember correctly.
16th, I think.
16th? Okay.
16th, yeah, by the Thunder. Yeah, Sengun would be 7 right in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of these guys, Moody's probably would be in the top 10, around 9, 10.
Yeah, he went 14. Didn't he go 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have him in top 10.
Yeah. This Keon Johnson, he's isn't he with the Kings now?
Keon Johnson. No, he's on
Kia Jones. It's a different player.
No, that's Kai Jones has done pretty well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
No, he's been out of the league. I mean, he got drafted by Charlotte, didn't he? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
No, he's done. He's like in the G League.
All right.
Keon Johnson, I think, plays for the Brooklyn Nets right now, I believe.
Okay. All right. This thing's driving me crazy, this thing. I can't move it. But yeah, I would say Trey Murphy's been done all right.
He's good.
But Sengun, he's got to be like 6, 7 right in there, 6 or 7, maybe even higher. He's a really good player.
Lou, you said something to say? What'd you say?
Yeah, you know it's sort of funny. I just sort of thought of this. The injuries are what made the Warriors who they are now. Because when you look at it, if Melton didn't get injured, it would have been a different lineup. Probably wouldn't have got Butler. The Kuminga injury, we had to adapt, make the trade. So it's sort of ironic sometimes what happens. And it's sort of like, you start off with your starting 5, maybe 3 rotations, but it's never like that at the end. And everything's been positive. With Kuminga going down, they took their time. They put Moody in the starting lineup because of that. You had Pods that got injured. People had to adapt. They didn't really get rid of Peyton, all that. And it's just weird because really our 2 main guys, Melton, who's no longer with us, Kuminga getting injured, have really made us better, if that makes any sense. And we had guys that had to step up and they done it, which makes, a solid. Because, Moody probably still wouldn't have been, he would still maybe be riding the pine, I guess is the best way to say. He wouldn't have gotten the minutes. Now him as a starter, he's a different player. It's helped him. And it's really made us just more valuable where, to start the season, we had 13 guys. Everyone was trying to get the role. We get Butler. Everyone now has a specified role, and we're not just concentrating on the outside shot. And Frank, you always say teams win by playing smart. Defense always travels, but playing smart offensively, cutting down the turnovers, making free throws. Like tonight, I think was the first time 3 straight plays we did pick and rolls, which you don't see it. And then we dunked the ball, not lay it up. We dunked it. And it's just sort of ironic the way this whole season is sort of adapted, and I think that's, you got to sort of give it to Kerr, the coaches and the players themselves.
And here's the thing. I was thinking about this last week. I was in San Francisco at a sports bar, and Mike Dunleavy Jr. leaned on his personal relationship to get the Jimmy Butler scenario to the doorstop, and Laker pushed it over the edge. He had to make the decision to pay this guy $111 million. But Dunleavy Jr. had to sell that teammate, had to sell that person, his professionalism. And that's a feather in his cap because, no one was like, wow, we're going to move forward now. We got Mike Dunleavy Jr., but he's done a hell of a job. You got to give him credit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you, Frank.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at this. I was curious about this whole thing with Sengun, and he was traded, by the Thunder. And I was thinking, how much better would the Thunder be with Sengun? But they got a 22 and a 23 number 1 pick for that. I want to see who they
got.
Pick.
I think they have 15 picks in the next 5 years. I mean, they got a chance where next year, if they want the number 1 pick, they could give 5 number 1s and get the best player. And you have the team with the best record in the West getting the best player coming out of college. I mean, that's just, you got to remember they suffered a lot, but they're between them and Houston, they're young and they got so many picks. Sorry.
The 22 draft, OKC got Chet Holmgren, and then they got Jalen Williams at number 12, and then they had the last pick in the draft. They traded him to Denver. The Warriors actually have a pick coming next year for trading Eric Pascal. Remember Pascal from Villanova?
Yeah.
So they got a 26 second coming next year, but it says it's protected. How is a second round pick protected? Is it
might be protected up to a number? Maybe top 35 protected, something like that.
Oh, maybe something like that. So that's kind of what they did in the 23 draft. I'm just wondering who did they get in the 22 draft? I'm trying to think if they would be better off with Sengun. How much better would Oklahoma? But then they wouldn't have maybe Jalen Williams and let me see.
Well, they have 2 Jason Williams, so you got to call Mr. Santa Clara or the other guy. 2 guys with the exact same name.
Yeah, the other guy from Arkansas.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because
it is funny.
See who they drafted. Oh, they drafted Lively, Derek Lively, and traded him to the Mavericks. Mavericks had drafted Cason Wallace, traded him to the Thunder with the 10th pick. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, I kind of think Sengun, man, he would have been. Imagine, because OKC really doesn't have a real center.
Well, here's the thing about Sengun, though. He's an average defender at best. He gets in foul trouble.
He's a little slow.
Yeah, and he doesn't block shots. I mean, he's a good player. He's a very good player, and he's tough and pass. I like him. I mean, he's a good player. But when I look at the playoffs, maybe Houston can kind of overcome some of their defensive weaknesses with more intelligent play. I don't see that happening this year. I think Ime Udoka botched the Reed Shepherd deal. I mean, he's been on the bench the whole year. They did not develop him, and now he's out for a month. I think that was a miss. Even if you want to go with Van Vliet, that's fine. But not to have a guy with that level of talent not get up your bench for 15 minutes a game the way that he can shoot, I think that's a mistake, man.
Yeah. I meant to mention this. I've had it up for about 10 minutes. Bill $2 says Post will be 25 in a week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I
Either-
thought. I thought he was wrong.
Either Lou is asleep or he's frozen or he's awake. Okay. Lou's awake. There he is. All right. Where did I do with that? Let me get rid of that. So what's the next game? Saturday against the Knicks.
Yep.
Steph turns 37 tomorrow. And hopefully his back doesn't tighten up and he's able to go Saturday. But Knicks were down the other night against Portland and rallied late and got into overtime and won it. So it's tough to beat a team twice. It's going to not be an easy game. They better win it because they've got two tough games Monday and Tuesday. They got Denver and Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Knicks now have 5 games without their star player, so they've adapted. You know, a lot of times when you lose your star player, the first couple games, everyone's got different roles, you know, and it's the one thing, it's also the last game of the road trip, which is usually the toughest. So, you know, hopefully the Warriors can get to them. But I thought tonight the key was they got to the Kings right away. You know, when we went on that road trip, my God, the first halves, it seemed like we were down 12-18. It seemed like every game, it didn't matter who we played. And, you know, when you come out like gangbusters, you know, it's nice when you're ahead, let them try to catch you instead of the roles reversed.
I totally agree with that. And I also think that the Kings clearly had a game plan. It was to let Draymond shoot, and Draymond burned him. So, you know, that's where I think that, like, Mike Brown should not have been fired because the Kings had a game plan. The Warriors turned their game plan upside down, and they didn't make any in-game adjustments until it was too late. They were down 20 points to the Warriors, and they kind of came back and made it relatively respectable by halftime. But those in-game adjustments, Draymond's making the first 3, you got to get a little closer. He makes another one. Don't give him that third. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's where the Kings are lacking, and the Warriors really benefited from that. That's one of Steve Kerr's strengths, making in-game adjustments. And I love my Knicks, obviously. I want to see them play well. I mean, they need a win, but I don't. But the Warriors win. I mean, you know, I don't care. The Knicks are fine in their position. The Warriors are trying to get into the playoffs. You know what I'm saying?
It's so tight. I mean, it's so tight. Ryan, I will bet you on this the cat going for 40 Saturday. I will take the under. And let me know if you want to bet that, Ryan. He said, expect a cat 40 ball. So that means he believes it. So put your money where your mouth is, Ryan. I'll take the under, and we'll go from there.
I think the key thing with the Warriors, just stay healthy. Stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. No injuries. You know, and actually, I mean, you know, not like LeBum when he went down and now he's got to see a specialist in out 2 weeks when we're not really sure what the injury is. And he's costing his team faltering. But I think, you know, if the Warriors can just stay healthy and not play everyone, you know, 38 minutes, that's what I liked about tonight, you know, 30 minutes, 20. You know, I love it when the Warriors win and Steph has only 5 3-pointers, you know, and maybe Butler only has 12 because that means the other guys are actually doing their job. And, you know, that's going to be tough. That's how it's going to have to be when we're in the playoffs.
Ryan's always coming at me with words. So he says, I say a word and he throws the definition at me. So Ryan, we're betting on this game. You put it in writing. The word expect. Likely to happen. We expect the best. Likely. Okay. Suppose, presume. It's very, so you're anticipating. You believe. Okay. So we're going to do that $100 bet. If he gets anything over 30 and he doesn't make 40, you get your money back. He scores 29 or less, you owe me 100. That's a pretty good deal, Ryan. You're expecting 40, and I'm giving you an out at 30.
That's fair. He's going to be somewhere in that neighborhood. I don't think they'll win. Without Jaylen Brown. Jalen Brunson. But I think they'll be really, really competitive, obviously. But the last time the Knicks beat the Warriors, Jalen Brunson had a really, really good game. And they don't have a driving point guard beyond Brunson. They don't. They got good players, but they don't have anybody they don't attack the rim without Jalen. So the Warriors have a major advantage against the Knicks. They're playing at home. They're playing their best basketball right now. I mean, what do they have tonight? 33 assists, 34?
35.
35 assists? I mean, that's big time. It really is.
What is this? What do you mean, Steve Supremo? I bet this showed negative for you. Well, we not no negativity tonight, Steve. This is a very positive show. Where are you coming from? Bill says, Lou, stop. You always say stay healthy each call. So he's calling you out there. Somebody said to me in here early on, I want to find it, because somebody said about the Warriors winning it all, and they called me out. Where is it? It's way in the beginning. Does anybody remember that? Ryan, you saw the comments. You remember all the comments. Who said, Dan?
Thanks, Anthony.
Warriors are winning it all, or something. Can't find it. I should have started earlier. I forgot it. It's way, way back. Okay. Can't find it. But whoever that was, I bet the Warriors at 1,000 to 1. I got $10 and I win $1,000. I was thinking ahead. So
not a bad deal if you can catch that one in.
Yeah. So, but anyway, let's go back into the comments here. Let me see. Cooper Flagg out with an ankle sprain. Yikes. Is
Left
that
in
a
a wheelchair.
major ankle sprain? Is he out for the ACC tournament?
He was wheelchaired to the locker room. He's not going to play the next game. They're going to probably wait for the tournament. It looked ugly.
Yeah, he shouldn't play. He shouldn't play an ACC tournament. He shouldn't.
Yeah, it means nothing. You need him for the big one. And you probably have to play him the first game because they'll still be a number 1 seed. But they will need him if they have to go against a good 8 or 9 team.
Yeah, that second game, that Saturday game, Saturday or Sunday game. So if he plays on that Sunday, this is what? This is Thursday.
Yeah, that's
12
days.
He has
11. 9 days off. Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes. I mean, and here's the thing, man. This was the number 1 pick in the draft. He can't come back. Oh, I'm good at 70, coach. No, you're not. His parents and his agents and even the NBA has to be like, listen, if this dude can't be Cooper Flagg like he was before, 86 this damn tournament. Because it's uncertain. I think he's probably going to play because he wants to, but they got to be careful with this, man. They got to really be careful.
Where Steve-O says most of us don't get his logo. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. Yeah. I mean, what the March Madness starts next Thursday probably, or Wednesday?
Well, this
Thursday
Sunday. Yeah, this Sunday is they pick it, and then it starts the first two on Tuesday. Or 2 games on Tuesday, 2 games on Wednesday.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm talking about Duke Flagg. He's not going to have to play till Thursday or Friday, and he won't.
Thursday or Friday would be their first game.
He won't even need to play in that game because he's going to be playing
against a 16 seed.
Yeah. So you rest him till Saturday or Sunday. So it gives him a whole. If it's not a high ankle sprain, if it's just a roll of.
He didn't wear the boot today, so that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Low ankle sprains are, heck, I've seen guys play the next
You can even
night.
see the replay, Dan. You can put the replay on with no sound, and you can see how it's ugly.
It's not a high ankle. They didn't say it was a high ankle, did he?
No, he turned his ankle, and it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I mean, he had to get wheelchaired to the locker room.
Ankle injuries are so painful. Man,
Yeah.
I used to wear those. I don't know. We used to wear those Converse, high tops.
They're called Chuck Taylors.
Yeah, Chuck Taylors.
Chuck Taylors, Dan.
The white ones. The white ones, and that was. We didn't even have a Nike shoe back in then. We didn't have.
Well, Dan, that was 1950. Nike wasn't really made until late 80s.
That was 1978, 79, 80. I don't remember a Nike shoe available. If it was probably over my budget, my parents' budget. But but those things, you roll an ankle, a lot of times, you just ice it. You're out there 2 days later.
Yeah.
How many ankle sprains did you have, Frank? A dozen or more?
I had some bad ones. I remember. It's funny you guys say that. I remember playing in a JV game. Like I rolled my ankle maybe on Tuesday in like the game. I played on Friday night, literally with like the coach take my ankle up. I had Converse on too, Chuck Taylors. They let me play hopping up the court. I literally couldn't, I couldn't put full pressure. So I had to kind of like clear my space in the lane. I still probably had 15 rebounds. But
those ankle sprains are a pain. Oh, they hurt.
But there's no way in hell I should have played in that game. Had I had parents, who like came to the game, like my mom was working, sleeping. No way in hell I should have played in that game. But I didn't. But I did, and I wanted to play because I never wanted to miss any games.
Yeah.
Calmer heads have to prevail. And if I was my parent, I wouldn't have played. No way in hell you're gonna play in that game.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I played.
Yeah. So Warriors have won 6 straight. I don't remember if this matches or I don't remember their longest winning streak early on in the season when they were 12-3. By the way, guys, Warriors are now the highest. This is the most games are over 500, 10 games over. They got to 12-3, and then they were 15-15 in the season. I think this team, they're now at 38-28. They have 16 games remaining.
Mm-hmm.
I think 48 looks really good, and 50 is an outside possibility.
I agree with you. Okay, so 50 they would be 12-4. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
I think 48
10-6 to get to 48.
Yeah, I think 10-6.
That's kind of where I think if they get to 48, I feel pretty good that they get the 6th seed.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If they get 49-50, they might be the 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
They just have to tie with Minnesota because they own the tiebreaker. So if they get to 48, Minnesota would have to get to 49 to beat them.
That's a big deal because that's like an extra game. That's a big deal.
Yeah, right now where the Warriors are up on the T-Wolves is that loss column, which is the most important. And they're 2 up on the Clippers in the loss column, and the Clippers own the tiebreaker. So the Warriors have to, keep winning. They're 3 behind the Rockets, and they have the tiebreaker. 4 behind the Lakers in the loss column.
You know what? I think the Lakers might be in trouble, man. Because they're going to try to. I don't know what their schedule is like, but they have a brain drain when LeBron's not in there. Luka's still a great player, and he played. He scored a lot of points, tonight. But he's nowhere near the leader LeBron is at this point in terms of motivating the guys. And they have a brain drop off. Those guys, when they don't make shots, it's curtains because they don't really create points to be able to pass like the Warrior does. I mean, like the Warriors do. So
They
could be
may
in trouble.
have, in their next 5 games, I see 3 losses.
They got Denver. They got Denver twice.
And Milwaukee again.
And they got Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And they got Phoenix.
And Phoenix ain't easy either.
No.
I see at least 2, maybe 3 losses. And then they get a little bit easier with Chicago, Orlando. Indiana's not easy at Indiana.
No,
Neither is Orlando, really, at Orlando. And then they got
Chicago.
Yeah, at Memphis. And then they got the Warriors. I don't know how long LeBum's going to be out, but I'm thinking
they got OKC twice.
Yeah. Wow.
On the road.
At OKC, back to back.
Good luck.
Whoa. Wouldn't that be something if the Warriors were able to run them down? Wow. That would be something. If they could beat the Lakers on April 3rd, what do they got? They got them April 3rd, and then they got a back-to-back. Okay. Wow. Yeah. Hey, you know what? Like you said, they're kind of they're kind of off sync without. Wow. It's interesting.
It's not just LeBron. They don't really have a center, and the guys they're playing are really young. They're not used to this, so it's a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
See, the Warriors got 38 wins, and they got 4 more games on the homestand, right? They've got the Knicks, and then Nuggets, Bucks, and then I think Toronto.
Yep.
Out of those 4, do they win 3 of them? I don't think they win all 4.
I don't think so. I mean, the odds of them winning all 4.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No, that's insane. I mean, 3-1.
3-1 would put them at 41-29.
They could do that.
And then they would go on the road trip, and their road. Let me show you the Warriors' schedule now. I'll pull that up here. In fact, there it is. Oh no, let me pull the Warriors' schedule. We'll see what they've got, because don't they have one more big road trip, the Warriors,
they do?
Are they done?
No,
One more big one.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the Warriors' schedule. Okay, so they got the Knicks. Then they got Denver and Milwaukee, then Toronto to end the homestand. Then they go on the road to Atlanta. One thing I'm liking about this road trip so far, the games are spread out. Saturday, Tuesday. But I'm not so crazy. That's not a great place to have a couple days off.
Yeah, I know. No, it's not.
That's not a good thing. You like to roll into Miami and get the heck out.
You know what? That needs to be a wife trip. Like it's mandatory. Yeah. It's mandatory to bring your wives.
Oh my goodness. Oh, and then you got time to go hang out in New Orleans, another party town.
Yeah, they play better too.
Then you got San Antonio. See, what's nice about that road trip, no back-to-backs. Right. No back-to-backs. Saturday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and they're pretty close proximity. Those aren't bad flights. When you go from Atlanta to Miami, short flight, to New Orleans, short flight, to San Antonio, short flight, San Antonio to Memphis, that's not bad. And then they come back to California. That's not a road trip like the last one. And the last one, they went, 5-1?
Yeah.
And that was a tough road trip because there was some 3 games in 4 nights type stuff. There's none of that. So I kind of think they stay focused. That road trip, Atlanta, Miami, all those teams are beatable. They'll probably lose a game or two at least, but they're all beatable.
Yeah. They're all competitive games, though. I mean, you got to go and beat those teams. You have to.
Ryan says if they didn't lose to the 76ers, we'd be on a 12-game win streak. I will say this. If they beat the Sixers, I think the Knicks would have beat them. I think the Warriors really played hard to get that game back against the Knicks.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks take them in because that was a tight game. I think the Knicks would have won that game.
What about the Detroit game last Saturday? That was tough.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I actually realized that the Warriors were different when they won last Saturday. I'm going to tell you why. Because on a back-to-back, Detroit gets on a plane, goes up to Portland, and beat the crap out of them.
Yeah.
That lets you know how good this Warrior team is because they can play multiple styles now. And they couldn't do that before. I mean, the Kings played a little crappy zone against the Warriors, and Warriors made them look unprofessional tonight. They really did. And the patience that they have on offense now, you remember early in the year, all those buddy 3-second laser brick shots that he would take?
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler hold the ball tonight. When he caught the ball at the elbow against the Kings zone and he pivoted and he waited like 3 seconds, which seems like 7 seconds, and then he lasered the ball to Draymond for a layup.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a good team, man.
Hey, let me just pull this up here. Let's see, what do we got here? When do the Warriors hit their 44th win? And what happens there with the 44th win? Yes. 251 Geary Street out in San Francisco.
I have no problem with Frank, but when Ryan keeps going like this, my God. I mean, there's sore winners, but he's now taking the cake. I mean, that's all he talks about. It's like relax.
You know what, I mean, Lou? I obviously
Frank.
I was never even going to mention it because
Frank.
No.
You're the right guy. You wait. There's good times to do it, but with producer Ryan, he just does it all the time. I mean, it's fine. I have no problem. It's only $44. Not like it's 10 grand, guys. So it's not a big deal to me.
I mean,
Ryan wins. He never lets you hear the end of it. I'm telling you, I've had to pay him off on a bet. The guy, it's like incestuous. I mean, it's text after text. Come on, pay up, Dan. I said, wait till the game's over. Just wait till the game is over. It's okay.
I love talking sports.
Not a big deal. I mean, you guys see, I'm still here.
Yeah, I don't care who pays. Honestly.
Yeah, I'm still here.
I really don't.
Yeah, we'll have to maybe we can hit a Giants game and go to the Cheesecake Factory.
That'd be nice.
You do that.
I would love that.
I'll take my payment that way.
Well, that means you got to travel.
Tuesday.
Are you going to be traveling to the Bay sometimes?
I'll come up, yeah. Especially during baseball season, man. I love coming up.
The Giants are a class act too. I covered the Giants like 5 times. I mean, their media plate is awesome. Their media lounge area is awesome. Yeah. They do a good job, man. They really do.
Yeah, when you get
it's fun. I miss Brunell though. I do.
That was the curse last year. A week before opening day.
Yeah,
it was cheap.
Because I don't know why they got rid of her. I mean, you're an inside man.
Why don't they bring her back now?
Yeah, why did they get rid of her, Dan? What do you think?
They wouldn't renew her contract. Pathetic.
I think the Giants' ownership got tight. Did she say something against the ownership at one point or something?
I've never heard her say that.
No, she never said anything until after the fact when she got released. She came in. She hadn't had a raise in 5 years. She goes, guys, I'd like to renew my contract with the cost of living. I think I deserve. I think it was like an 8% raise. And they said no. and they didn't renegotiate. It was cheap. And then they got somebody who was horrible. I mean, Ronell, to tell you the truth, was as much as the ballpark than as the players.
What was
she was
making?
that big.
$200,000 a year? $100,000?
I mean, I'm not sure because it's 81, but she did a lot outside of doing that announcing beside Camille, but she did a lot for she was the voice of the Giants.
She should be making at least $200,000, right?
Yeah, I don't know how much someone like that makes. I just don't know. She's
Ronell.
Yeah, I mean, she probably made more. Well, I don't even think Camille still around. I mean, I don't know.
No. She wasn't on Camille. She was on light.
Not KBLX.
Yes, she was
KFRC.
Yeah, she was at KBLX for a while. I don't listen to terrestrial radio.
She probably made say because you only work in 81 games.
Yeah.
Say she makes 100,000.
Yeah.
What's wrong with paying her an extra $10,000 for the year?
Yeah.
I mean, she was the voice. She deserved it.
Right.
Yeah.
She was not only the voice. I mean,
KSOL. Yeah. Okay.
Who's their radio announcer? I can't.
Kruk and Kipe?
No. The other guy.
Ron Miller?
Yeah, Miller. Listen. Miller's not only a great announcer, he's an ambassador.
Yeah.
So they were very progressive in hiring Ronell. She hit a home run. They had a good run with her. Give her a reason why they got rid of her, because there was nothing
nothing said.
No, there was nothing said, and it wasn't anything explicit that said that she was not doing a good job. So I didn't like that.
Could have been
Anthony
political.
Anthony, cheerleaders only make 125 a game. That's it. 125 a game.
So yeah, you guys, I'm hearing a lot of talk about, we'll close out here. We'll end here a little bit, but just want to throw this out to you guys. Hearing a lot about the Niners, what they've been doing. A lot of people are saying they're, even Tim Kawakami's writing articles about what are they doing? What's the plan? And then I've listened to Larry. Larry doesn't seem to mind all the guys. He says the one guy that kind of feels like he wished they would have been able to keep was Greenlaw because of his intensity and how he's a leader and how, but a lot of the guys they got rid of, they either were way too expensive, like Aaron Banks. You're not going to pay $20 million to Aaron Banks. Talanoa Hufanga went to the Broncos and he's always hurt. You can't really pay him that. They also lost, who else went to Denver from the 49ers, Lou? Somebody else?
Greenlaw.
Oh, yeah. Great. Drake. Greenlaw went to, Denver. I don't think they were wanting to pay him what he got. I think they were wanting to pay him probably like a 1 year, maybe 2 year deal, and he got a 3 year deal.
You want Brock Purdy back? You got to get rid of dead weight. That's what the salary cap's about. You have other people on the team beside him that you're going to have money next year. You got to think of the future, and that's how it is. And, it's like everyone complains. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They won the world championship. They lost a lot more than the Niners, but you don't see them complaining because they know how to draft. This is going to be the biggest draft the Niners have ever had. They need a good draft. I think it's very important. You'll see, we'll see how they go.
I didn't like the Juice loss, though. I didn't like that.
I get it. I get why you don't like it, but I think the money and I think they're looking to just retool with younger guys.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep, their main stars. They got McCaffrey and Bosa and Williams and Warner and Kittle and I guess Purdy. I don't know. Do you guys think? Here's what I would do with Purdy. I would give him. There's no way. Now that you got Mac Jones in camp, I'm not giving Purdy $50+ million. I'm just not. I say, you know what? I'm going to give you $45 million a year for 3 years or 4 years. Excuse me, 4 years. That's $180 million, and I'm going to guarantee $120. So he's got 3 years. They have the ability right now to pay Purdy his 4th-year salary, which is like $5 million, and franchise tag him for 2 seasons. And if they did that, he only gets about $99 million over 3 years. They hold the cards. And
Don't you believe in? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Frank.
No, I just think that like I believe in bad juju. I believe in good juju and bad juju. I just don't. I don't know if you want. I mean, I agree with. I mean, like you're pretty generous with the guarantees, and if you're going to guarantee 120 million, then pay him 40 to 45. That's what all these teams do with their veteran quarterbacks. I mean, hell, I mean, Kansas City quarterback is probably making about 45 million in real dollars. You know, Patrick Mahomes, he just simply has the guarantees. So it's really about the guarantees. I mean, I think he should make 50, but if they guarantee 100 plus and give him 45,
it's all about the guarantee. You could
I'm
give
okay with that.
75 million a year, and if only 30 of it's guaranteed, who cares what the 70? You know, it's the guarantee. So to me, I'll give him a lower cap and say we're willing to guarantee the 3 years, but that 4th year, I want to see if he kills it in the first 2, 3, I'm renegotiating and I'm going to extend him some more. But I'm not going to go beyond 3 years of guarantees, because if he doesn't cut it, you're not out a ton. You know, you're talking 45 mil. And I think that's fair based on the fact that they could just say, we're going to franchise tag it, and you get 100 mil over 3 years, and then you have no guarantee. Because if you play him right now under this contract for his 4th year at $5 million, what happens if he gets hurt this year or has just a horrible year? You can just say, we're cutting you, right? So I think the Niners go in and say 45 is our top. Here's the alternative. The alternative is you play on the $5 million, and the next year we hold the right to franchise tag you. But you're not playing hardball, really, if you're offering a fair compensation that benefits Brock and the team. Now, if you give him $55 million a year and he's got a 4-year deal and it's over 200 and you're still guaranteeing about 120, I think you're hurting yourself. I think it's the guarantee that is most important. And so I'm not going to give him that, because look, Purdy is better than Mac Jones for sure. Okay. He's more mobile. But Mac Jones can fit into Kyle's offense. He's basically Jimmy Garoppolo, right? I mean,
he lives with bad plays though. He gets beat real good. And that's the thing about, I mean, Mac Jones is a talented guy. He can't run, and he lives with bad plays. And I don't particularly like that. Purdy, the one thing about Purdy, as small as he is, he looks small sometimes on the field. He's very positive. He's very positive, and I think that helps him as a quarterback, because young players live with bad plays also. So who's going to pick those guys up? I've seen Purdy do that. I haven't seen enough of that from Mac Jones. Mac Jones, he can play solid backup, but we've seen him when it has gone left. This idea that he's going to challenge Brock Purdy, to me, is crazy. I don't.
Hey, Dan, Mac Jones had one big problem the year his first year at New England. He got married because women weaken legs, and he's never been the same.
Rock. There we go. Hey, this comment by Kyle, this would never, no one's going to offer that, but if someone was crazy enough to do that, in a heartbeat, I'm making that deal. In a nanosecond. I'm like, I don't even care what team offered it. If it's Siberia, sorry, Nick, you're going to Siberia. We just got 2 1s and a 3. Yes.
How about 1 1 and a 3? Are you kidding me?
Depending on the team. If it's a top 15, if it's a team in the top 15.
Yes.
I'm taking that.
I'd do it in a second.
Yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah.
You know, because here's the thing. all of a sudden, this division, like every year we can just pencil the 49ers and, oh, yeah, they're going to win the division. The Rams are going to be tough. Even without Cooper, they're going to be good. All right? And guess what? Arizona played good football last year. In the second half, they were competitive against a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
And Kyle Murray, who people thought was a bum, he actually had a nice second half. I'm sure his confidence level is good. They got one of the best tight ends in all of football. The rookie from last year, Ohio State. Harrison, he's going to come in next year. And watch out for Arizona. They're going to be decent.
Yeah.
Seattle will probably be around 500 and competitive. So this is not a slouchy division anymore, man. 49ers got to strap it up.
You guys like the signing of Sam Darnold up in Seattle?
I do. He's so Seattle.
What about you, Lou?
They really didn't have anybody else to go after. I mean, I just didn't like Sam. I wouldn't have signed him because you saw what happened the last 2 games of the season. In the playoffs, he was a bust, and I think Minnesota just really fit him. Now you're going to Seattle where they've lost 2 wide receivers. I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's going to have a real tough time because
they lost
Seattle
Metcalf to the Steelers, and then they get rid of the little scat.
The other guy,
Lockett.
Lockett.
They got a big one.
I call them scatbacks, like the little guys that just they can't catch him. Can't catch them.
You got to remember he made $9 million with us. His year last year, 1-year deal, I think, was 15. So you have a great year with Minnesota. Now he's making 35 a year. Welcome to the NFL.
I don't know. You watch the Niners, what they're doing. Don't you just kind of learn from Dallas and you see what they did with Dak Prescott, $60 million, and they're not the same. Dallas is just you can't. I don't know. If you're a great legendary all-time quarterback, if you're Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, you pay those guys. Even Jalen Hurts seems to be up there. You look at him, what he's done. But I'm not paying a guy that is, I think he was like middle of the pack in QBR rankings last year.
Who?
And he was great the year before, but he had a lot of weapons.
Purdy? Okay, yeah.
But you don't have – look, you're taking a lot of his weapons away. I think they're going to trade Ayuk if they can. And I would have never signed Ayuk personally. Last year during the summer, I was saying trade him. Take the number 1 pick and a receiver that teams are offering you and be done with it. But receivers, you can find them. They're available either in free agency or the drafts. And man, I kind of hope that the Niners, that the draft falls their way and they can trade. I would be down if you offered, if Tennessee says we want Purdy to run the Tennessee Titans, country boy, music guy. We're going to bring him back to Nashville. We're going to give up the number 1 pick. I'd do that because
they're not.
Then I'm either going to draft Cam Ward and build around that, or I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trade back and I'm going to get an extra number 1 pick and I'm going to load up. And then I'm going to draft that receiver from Arizona. And I'm going to get me an awesome defensive tackle or edge. And I'm going to get linebackers and I'm going to get offensive linemen. And I'm going to retool this thing. And I'm going to have like 5-6 picks in the top 100.
I would say a lot of people quietly like Dart too. Dart's a good player.
Yeah, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, the QB.
Yeah, I mean, like in the right system, he's kind of a system guy, but he throws a nice ball. He's pretty athletic. He can run. I mean, I liked him when he was at USC. He's a good player.
Yeah.
So,
I got to pound my fist. Go ahead, Lou.
What I was going to say is the Niners the Niners, the last 6 times where they've given in to the players, only one has come through that maybe deserves their money. Look at the last big 6 signings, got the holdouts. They've all been disasters.
Let me think who you're talking about that's been the big 6. Are you talking about Warner?
Keep going. I'm just saying over the last like
No,
4 years.
who's panned out? I think Warner's
Only
panned
one.
out.
I can only think of one that has
Kittle.
really panned out. Kittle. That's
Yeah.
it.
I
Nobody
think
else.
Fred Warner's. I think Warner's done pretty
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Warner's panned out too.
Yeah, I think Warner. And to an extent, you could say Trent. Although last year he held out, he didn't do much last year. But prior to that, Trent's been.
He's not as dominant he's been the last 2 years. Bosa had the injury. He's been all right.
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Time to
I'm just saying,
pound
the Niners have done whatever they can to pay these guys, and they haven't fulfilled and given the fans and the team what they deserve.
Yeah.
So,
I'll take Warner.
it's tough.
I like Warner. Warner's tough. He played on a broken leg or whatever. He had an ankle or chip or something. I'm going to pound my fist. Does that sound loud? I can't hear it.
Yeah.
All right. I am not paying top dollar for a QB unless he's a legendary quarterback. I know everybody does it, but I am, Mahomes, I'm paying. I'm paying for Jackson. I'm paying for Josh Allen. I'm paying, I like Jalen Hurts because he's mobile and he can do things that a lot of quarterbacks can't do. He's tough and
good leader.
He's a good leader. Yeah, I was hoping the Niners drafted him out of Alabama, or Oklahoma when he finished college. I said Jalen Hurts is going to be good in the right system. Okay, so there's 4 quarterbacks. I'm trying to think of any other quarterbacks that I would have paid for Stafford a few years ago. I'm not paying for him anymore.
You would pay Joe Burrow also. You pay Burrow.
Joe Burrow, definitely. Yes. Joe Burrow is my number. Look, I said this and people said I was crazy. I would do this. I would trade the number 11 pick, Brock Purdy, and Nick Bosa for Joe Burrow.
Let me say this. I said this in October. All right. I put out a tweet in October. I said, I don't have to see any more football. Joe Burrow is one of the top 20 quarterbacks that I've ever seen play the history of football.
I love Joe Burrow. I'm glad you brought him up because I was not thinking about him because I was thinking of.
I've watching football for 40 years. That dude is money.
Yep.
You see what he did in the NC2A? Won the national. Listen, as good as Jim Kelly was, Joe Burrow is better than Jim Kelly.
Yeah.
You don't get mad at me.
Would you do that trade? Brock Purdy, Nick Bosa, and the number 11 pick for Joe Burrow?
You're giving up a lot. I mean, Cincinnati would say yes without even thinking. Because look what you're getting.
You think they would? You think they would?
Yeah.
I would
without
do
even
it.
Thinking.
I would do it. You know why? Because I don't have any. I get rid of Bosa's salary.
Yep.
And the 11 pick is tough, but I can build around Joe Burrow. And then
I think the one thing about Burrow, why he's not bigger, he's in the AFC. If he was in the NFC, everyone would talk about him. Remember, you're in the AFC where they already have the other 4 studs. Yeah. It's just one of those things. He's covered, and the team last year, the last 2 years have started off so bad. I think they started off 1-4 2 years ago, got almost in the playoffs this year. They were 3-6 and came all the way back. It's just one of those things. I mean, they have great wide receivers. They just they haven't played a full season, since they made the Super Bowl.
Pittsburgh's going to kick their butt again this year because they're tougher. I think they're going to beat them again.
See, Bo Nix, Ryan says he would trade Bo Nix in the 20th pick for Joe Burrow. Yeah.
They would never do that. Why would Cincinnati do that?
They wouldn't do that. They're not trading for anybody.
But if you're giving up,
you're giving up the 11th pick Bosa,
Per-
and Brock Purdy. Why would Cincinnati take Denver's pick? That makes no sense. A 20th pick and a second
I
year
think he's
quarterback.
just saying they would. He would trade that.
But Cincinnati wouldn't take it. Is all I'm saying.
Cincinnati wouldn't take that. No, Cincinnati wouldn't take that.
I can't see them trading him for anybody. He's a generational quarterback.
Yeah,
I mean, in every
love
facet,
Burrow,
he turns the
and
ball over a lot, but still,
great leader,
great
competitor.
Player. Yeah, he's awesome.
Man, you get Burrow work in playing with Kyle, and then you get you start draft. I mean, you get rid of that, you can make some trades still. I mean, not trades, but sign guys. If you get, Burrow's making what, 50, upper 50s.
He just signed a deal, 42.5 he's making right now.
Thought he's making
sound like
more.
a 4-year, yeah.
That's the average. I think he's around 50.
Yeah, he also signed it almost 2 years ago. The prices just keep going up.
Yeah.
So,
see,
all right,
I don't think those. I don't think a lot of these calls ever get made by GMs. If I'm a GM, I'm making those calls to try and see what I can get.
You know what they say,
after
Dan,
the Luka trade, anything's possible.
Dan, you make that call. You said, "Why don't?" And the other guy, another says, "Why don't you like my family?" Why are you trying to make my family homeless?
Kind of like Nico Harrison.
Oh,
poor
my
guy,
God.
man. Poor Nico, man. Things didn't go well, did it? I mean, you lost. Now, Kyrie may not be back until, well, it's usually 9 months, but he's 32. You're talking
next Christmas,
maybe December, January of next year. And then Anthony Davis, who knows? He might need surgery again.
He might not make next year after everything that's going on. And they raised the rates 12%, all season ticket holders.
Yeah. That's crazy. Gentlemen,
we're going to get out of here.
Yeah.
We're going to get out of here. Yeah. I was going to say, I did bet. I took Dallas when they made that trade to win the title because of the odds. I thought, you know what? I kind of like the deal for Dallas in the playoffs if they're healthy. AD, Kyrie. But, man. But, guys, we're going to get out of here. If you guys haven't seen Frank's show, make sure you check it out. It's called In the Dungeon. I'll put it up here on the screen. I've got it here somewhere. I just got to find it. ENTHA. Where'd it go? In that. Come on. I got too many things.
It's above his right shoulder. If you look at him.
There it is.
Yeah.
All right.
No spaces when you log it in, but listen.
Yeah, no spaces.
Always a pleasure. I thank you, gentlemen, so much. And this has been a fun ride, man. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it again, of course, with the Warriors. We've got some big games coming up. Maybe Saturday night. What time's that game Saturday night?
5:30.
Yeah.
5:30. Are you going to go?
Saturday night game, ABC.
No, I'm not going.
Okay. Well, let's plan on doing a show. If you're available, we'll do it about 8 o'clock.
All right. Reach out to me.
Warriors Knicks post game. So, guys, there's the link to Frank's show right there in the chat. So click on the link, go over and subscribe right now as we get out of here. Just go help Frank's show out. Go on over there. The link is right in the chat. All you guys got to do is click on it. Takes you to his show. I think, let's see. How do we do that? Do we just, I think you got to do it in there. You can click on it. Go ahead and do that, guys. It'll be in our description, and then you can sign, go subscribe. All right, guys.
I have one question for you on the way up.
Yeah.
I've listened to some videos, some comments about how well the Giants have played record-wise in spring training. I mean, how do you feel about the prospects of the team?
Okay. I've been talking about the last few nights. I think the over-under 79.5. If their health remains relatively good, meaning no season injuries, but guys go out maybe for a 10-day stint and they're back. If they can weather the storm and they don't have a ton of injuries, I think they can be an above 500 team, you
Okay.
know. And I also think that the attitude of the team, because of the change in the front office, has a trickle-down effect to the players. The players know what to expect. There's no longer going to be this herky-jerky guys getting up and back from Sacramento for short stints, and then they're back in the minors. All that had a horrible effect, not just on the young guys, but the entire team. The lineup being made out by Farhan and no one able to know what to expect. And all of those things, new attitude coming back, championship attitude with Posey, I think it makes them a more entertaining team. And I think they will be, right now, I'm going to say they're probably a few games over 500. I don't think they're a playoff team yet, but it wouldn't shock me if they even overperformed and got close to a playoff berth this year. So
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
Frank can't win when you have no starting pitching. Just remember that.
Well, they got 2 starters.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
3.
nice. Out of 5, 2 out of 5. All right.
We'll see. Yeah.
Frank, a pleasure, buddy.
Going to have to hold up.
Take
All right,
care,
guys.
gentlemen. All right, bye-bye.
Take
All
care,
right.
Frank. We'll
Talk.
see you
All right.
guys, and
All right.
we will catch you to, tomorrow night. No show tomorrow night. No show tomorrow night. We will be back on Saturday. Okay?
All right, take care.
All right. Take care, Frank. All right. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm looking here. We might have a show in the afternoon. Let's see what the Giants play tomorrow. Giants are playing the Brewers tomorrow. So we'll be on the show post-game for San Francisco Giants right around 3:30. Okay? So catch us tomorrow for a 3:30 quick post-game Giants Brewers. Till then, have a great night.